Hi everyone. It's been a long time since I made a video. My apologies. Life has been really busy and I just didn't really have time to myself. However, I have gained a number of goodies here over the months that I thought I'll share. Hopefully, this will be helpful or enjoyable for just like a chill out, no brainer video in the background. And these are the goodies that I'm about to share today. So some of these are brands that you will recognize already. Sorry about the camera lens change. You just did that on its own. However, some of these are vintage rings that I got from secondhand shops. So a PAWN pawn shop. I can't seem to say that correctly. It seems. And all the rings that I got from these secondhand shops, they're under $1,000. So I decided on that because I'm still not very familiar with buying secondhand, and also it's a new hobby that I've developed with my friend. So we've just been sort of going around and learning about it as well. So I'll try my best to tell you the prices of these rings and what stones they are. Sometimes I don't get that information from the store, and I wouldn't know as I'm not qualified to tell you or assess it myself at the moment what stones they are, but I'll try my best. So I'll start off with the more commonly seen jewelry, so the luxury ones. So this is a Chanel Coco Crush ring in the medium size, so medium thickness, and it's in the yellow gold. So I've had this for maybe about 2 years now, and I've worn it very, very consistently. This is one of my most worn rings, and not a lie, I really, really like this ring. My only regret is, I guess, at that time when I bought it, I thought if I bought anything with diamonds, it's going to be really expensive and not that worth it. But in hindsight, maybe I could have bought the one that has diamond on one side and the other side none, because then I'll get two in one. So a very silly mistake, but that's okay. I still love this ring, as you can see when I go up close. Lots of scuffs, lots of dents, because I've really worn it so much. And I wear it everywhere, so you can definitely see the scuffs when I go up close. So I'm just going really, really up close at the moment. And you can see all the different scuffs around, and this is what I guess you can expect if you do get this ring and you wear it very often. And because I wear this ring mostly on my right hand, and I am right-handed, so I do everything with my right hand, so that means this gets scuff and scratch a lot as it touches different surfaces as I'm doing different things. And I'll just go back to that little dent looking bit there. So I'm just using the window light here to show you. It's not too bad, but if I put it afar and you wear it, unless you're like directly looking at it, you probably won't see it. So this is in the size 49. My hands are pretty small in general. Sorry, my fingers are pretty small in general. So it's hard sometimes for me to get rings because of my hands. My fingers are very small. But this is in the size 49, and in alphabetical order, I think that's a size J, I think. And normally I wear it on this finger. So normally I wear it on my index finger. But this I'm quite warm now, so it's a bit tight, and I usually have big knuckles. So sizing for me is hard. So sometimes I do wear it on my middle finger. That fits too, and as you can see, if I shake my hands and really gets loose, and that's what happens for me with rings. They are looser here, but it will stay in because of my knuckles. It does fit in here as well, a little bit looser on my left hand, but usually because of the thickness, I wear it on this hand. And I love it like that. It's just chunky, cool, statement piece, and I like it on its own. Sometimes I just wear this on its own and not wear anything else. But definitely, I really like this ring, and I just like that this medium chunkiness. The thin one's very dainty. And I guess the thick one is pretty cool as well, but it is pretty chunky and maybe not for every day. Eventually, I do want to buy some more Coco Crush, even though the designs are pretty simple, but it is very nice, especially stacked up. I have tried them stacked up before in the store. Very pretty if you stack just yellow gold, and very pretty if you stack it with other, say, white gold or beige gold, for example, as well. Now, I've got olive dark skin. As you can see, my veins are green, so I don't really suit beige gold as much, as it just blends out in my skin and you don't really see it. Now, going forward, we're going to go to the Just Include ring, which I perhaps may have briefly mentioned this in the past, but this is my first ever luxury ring ever, so I'm very proud of this. And I think back, maybe this is like close to maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and there was just like a reward for myself for some life achievements. So also, as you can see, pretty worn, and I think this was also in size 49. I don't really remember anymore. It's been quite a while, but you can see that I wear it a lot, and lots of scuffs if I put it up close. And I'm just going to move it around so that you can see how it's aged over the years. Now, in terms of how much more I wear this over the Chanel ring, about say equal. Maybe the Chanel ring sometimes a bit more, but I have had this for longer, so it probably does equal out. And I'm just showing you the surface here where it's all scratched. Now, usually I do wear this on the left hand, but even so, it is a little bit scratched. And I think you might have seen I've got a little bump here, there. And that's because, it's just really, I've been just wearing it so much. So normally I wear it on this finger. And normally I don't like it this way around, so normally I will wear it this way around just because I like it facing this way and it just feels nicer. And I'll talk about this in a second, but normally this is my original stack that I will be wearing the most, my go-to stack. So I normally wear my rings like this, and I love it like this still. If sometimes I'm in a rush, I can't think of what rings to wear, this is my go-to set, because these were my original sets that I had for a long time. These are pretty new, the vintage ones especially pretty new. And the next ring I'm going to talk about, which is something also that I will stack, and also one of the OG rings that I have, is the Cartier Love ring, and I used to wear it like this. Now, let me just take that wedding band off, which I will talk about after this. So with my Cartier ring, this one here, so this is obviously the Cartier Love ring, and obviously it's stuck with the love bracelet that I've talked about before in my previous videos. You can have a look at that if you're interested. Now, I've also had this for a long time, so after I got this, maybe 6 months or a year later, I got this one. And this is obviously a very standard, band ring. My husband actually has this ring as our wedding ring, so we do have a couple ring in some ways, but I didn't want this to be my wedding band. So nothing wrong with that, but I just wanted a pretty diamond one, that's all. So also pretty scuffed to show you how much I've worn it. I've worn it quite a bit, so again, lots of scratches, which really, with rings, you can't really mind too much because it is on your fingers. You do stuff with it, you can't be babying it too much, or at least I can't do it. And I'm just going around, as you can see, lots of scratches. I guess it doesn't really bother me because it's a ring, and honestly, on a day-to-day basis, like if I wear it, I can't see it that much, and I often do polish it. So I clean my jewelry, and then I don't really bring it to Cartier to sort of polish it too much because it takes off a layer of gold, or at least that's what they say. So I don't really do that, but when I clean it, it's pretty shiny, and I'm happy with that. And exactly like my love bracelet, you can't see the scuffs, but when you look up close, you can see all the scuffs. But from afar, it's still very pretty to me. And normally I will wear my middle finger, but sometimes I also stack it like this. And sometimes I think that's pretty cool as a stack. I don't like the Just Include on my middle finger. I don't know why. It's just maybe a little pet peeve of mine. I just don't like how it looks. I know people do wear it, but maybe because I've got the thinner version of it, it just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't look nice on me, or I don't like it. I forgot to mention this is the normal width, the standard width of the love ring. Obviously, there's the thinner wedding band version, and the Just Include, this is the thinner one because the thicker original classic one is just a little bit too chunky on my hands. And as much as I do love chunky rings, I think that one's maybe too chunky, and I feel like it was almost like a weapon to me because it was a nail that I could just punch someone with it. I'm just joking, but it just, this one was more fitting to me. So I definitely prefer this one. And same with my Just Include bracelet in my previous video, the thin one definitely suited me more. Now moving on to a brand that a lot of people do know. There. So this is a Mejuri ring. And a lot of people know Mejuri, I think, started off as an online jewelry brand, if I'm not wrong, and then slowly started having physical stores everywhere around the world. They're very popular, lots of influencers talk about it. Obviously I'm not sponsored, I'm not that, I don't have that many followings to get a sponsor, so I bought this myself, obviously. I've had Mejuri stuff before, not a lot. I had that earrings when they were first started. I've also had a necklace, and I've only ever bought gold, like actual gold stuff from them, solid gold, rather than gold vermeil or something, because I don't want things to fade. So this itself is like a dome ring with little star diamonds on it, and this one, I think it was 14 karat. In comparison to a 18 karat gold, so all the luxury brands, the Cartiers and the Chanel, they're 18 karat. So if you compare it with 18 karat gold, obviously the 18 karat is much more yellow, and this one's lighter. I don't know if it's true, but I don't think it's true that if it's a lower number on the gold, so say 9 karat or 14 or whatever, then it's like more durable. I don't think it's true. Lots of people, especially in Asia, wear 22 karat golds rather than 18 in itself, and they're fine. And similarly, I've worn this ring so much, and the thin one as well, nothing has happened. And it's 18 karat, technically supposed to be softer, right? Or something like that. Again, I'm not a jeweler, but nothing has happened. This ring is pretty new, so not as scuffed because I've worn it not that much. So it's only a couple months old, but it's very pretty, I guess, in terms of the little stars. I really like the little stars. It just has a little bling bling to it, and I like the dome shape as well. I guess my only thing to say about Mejuri is it's really light. I don't have a weighing machine, but it definitely feels a lot lighter than these other brands. And even just with these other rings that I've got vintage as well. And I think partly because it's a little bit hollow feeling. And you can see like within the dome in itself, I think thereabouts you can see it's, it's hollow in here. So probably that's why. Normally I would wear this on an index finger just to give it a bit of that oomph, and maybe pair it something around here as well. So for example, if I've got my wedding band, then I will pair it with like that. I do want to get a wedding band, not wedding band, I want to get a ring that goes on top of it, like a thin diamond band perhaps, but one day. Yeah, just moving on. So maybe I'll talk about my wedding stack. Now, this is my engagement ring. And thank you, husband, who's bought it for me. Now it's about 6 years old. So obviously I'm not married for 6 years, but it is 6 years old. And we got it done in our local jeweler in Melbourne. And it's got a funny shape to it because when I know very little about jewelry back then, I got my ring sized before it was made in summer, and it was a really hot day. My fingers were swollen, so it was, when I got it, it was really, really loose, so we had to resize it, and now it looks like an egg-shaped little ring, which is kind of cute, but it looks just funny. Now, I chose my own ring. I chose my own diamond. You can have your thoughts about it, but my best friend was very insistent on me choosing my own ring because I'm a picky person in terms of jewelry, and that was a very good decision. So just to run through the ring, this, because it's on this left hand finger, is really small. So again, it's hard to go on my knuckles, but it's gone on easily here and I can turn it, but once I take it out I have to sort of push it out in a certain way to get it out because of my knuckles. This is a 2-carat diamond, and just with the features, so there are side pathway. So I think the thickness, if I'm not wrong, was a 2 because we didn't want it too thin so that it doesn't break. So there's a side pathway, very standard like everybody else's rings. And there is diamonds around this area here. I'll try to show you just the area here holding the diamonds. I just saw it somewhere online and I thought, wow, that looks nice. Like that's a pretty cool idea. So I just really wanted these, and so that, you know, I know lots of people have the halo around it. That was pretty nice too, but I ended up not getting that. I ended up just getting this one like that here with diamonds. And I just thought it was like kind of nice when I look at it, I can see the diamonds from the side. In terms of the diamond itself, what it is, I can't tell you because I truly cannot remember. And the certificate is somewhere at home, but I don't know where it is. So at some point I will remember what this is, but I do not. But overall, it is a beautiful, beautiful ring. And, you know, even if it's not beautiful, the meaning behind it is great. The rest of it is platinum, and as you can see, very, very scratched up because I wear it all the time. And that's okay if it's scratched up. It's also got scuffs. Shows you how how rough I am just with wearing my jewelry, or how active I am with my hands, because I just do anything and everything with my hands. Carry heavy stuff, do stuff, everything with my rings on. I'm crazy. Moving on to my wedding band. So this is just a normal eternity band that goes all around. So this is made by my friend's parents. So I previously spoken about this before. I have a best friend that parents are jewelers, or they make and sell jewelry. So I've gotten this from her a long time ago during our wedding, and pretty much gave her the design that I picked out online, and gave her this. So the theory behind this is that I didn't want it flush. Ooh, that's a bit loose. Oh no, they're all a bit loose. So, oh, I didn't know that. Anyways, I want it a bit flush so that, not flush, so that it will pop as little bumps, because I want that separation. So for example, when I wear it, I didn't want it to be flushed together with this band. I want it to look separate so that you can see the two bands separately when I wear it like this. Even though when you combine it, it's pretty flush, but you know, from afar it looks like a big old chunky diamond stuff. But I also wanted to have this look as well sometimes, where it's just two separate things, and I think that's pretty cool. That's what I really like. So this is a combination that I really, really love. Now this video is at risk of getting extensively long, so I'm just gonna put all this back here. Oopsie. So now talk about the vintage rings that I have. I'm going to put the ones that I've already talked about here. So, before I go through that, I forgot. I did have one more small little Mejuri ring. So again, this is 14 carat, quite new. This is sort of a stacker ring because I think it's a bit too thin, or at least too thin to my liking to be wearing it on its own. I just feel that it's a little bit empty when I wear it on its own, but I think some people do like that look. So it's 14 karat gold, solid gold, and it's got little diamonds in it, and not too much stuff to talk about this one other than it's really a stacker ring for me. So it depends on really what I want to stack it on. So this one, for example. However, I'll talk about this one next. However, there's a caveat to this, but essentially that's how I would stack it, or you can do it with other stuff. Now for the vintage rings. So the one I'll just talk about now is this one. So this is an aquamarine ring. I got it from one of the shops here, secondhand shops here. The caveat to this is I have not worn this, and if there are any scratches that you see, that's not from me because I haven't resized it. So the place I went to could do me a resize, but they couldn't do it on the day itself. And I figured if my friend can do it for me for lower costs, why not? So I've just been waiting to visit her so that I can get that done. So it's simple band, very pretty. Obviously it doesn't fit me now because it's super loose. I thought like that it would be pretty as well. And bring it up close. That's aquamarine. You can see because it is obviously secondhand, it's not like, you know, the best quality stuff. You can see a bit of hollowness-ish because you can see my background finger, the back. It's got little bands to the side, and I think this was 9 karat gold. If I'm not wrong, I think it was about $400, I have to say, maybe around there. But it's not too heavy and it's pretty light, but very pretty on its own. I feel it's got some, I don't know, some vintage vibes to it maybe. But that's that. This one's also an aquamarine, so this one's quite cool, a little bit more vintagey. So if you see the side view, that's little heart shapes and a diamond. Same on the other side. And then whoever the person that worn it before me, done pretty well, I guess. They haven't had a lot of scratches compared to my rings that I've shown you. Shows you how crazy I am when I'm wearing my rings. I just do everything. And the big aquamarine. So, very pretty. And I believe this one was also around $400, I believe. And normally, because it's quite chunky, I would wear it on my middle finger. I'm a bit warm now, so my fingers are all swollen up. So it's a bit harder to put it on, but that's how it looks like from the side view. And the top view. Pretty. So pretty! So, let me just try to yank it off now, because it's hard. Just to put it, whoopsie, side by side. Blue dreams, blue ocean dreams. Okay, better move on to the next one. So this is also a ring that I have not worn because it is quite big, and I think I got this for about $200. So it is amethyst, apparently, or as I was told. And this was a cheaper ring, also 9 karat gold. So all of them, most of them are 9 karat gold. And just a quick comparison, 9 karat and the 14 karat. Probably a little bit hard to see with this lighting, but essentially this is 9, 14, 18. So maybe a little bit hard to appreciate on this lighting. But anyhow, this ring is amethyst with a little heart shape and some over here. And then this looks like diamonds, but they're not diamonds. Actually, I'm not sure, but I've got a little microscope thing to look at it, and I couldn't tell what it is, and the person couldn't tell me what it is either. But there is one little diamond in there, if you can see right there. And these are just, I think, engravings, if I'm not wrong. And this is how it looks at the back. So, you know, more roughly made, I would say, but it's still pretty. And for $200, I'd rather get solid gold like this rather than getting a gold vermeil. Which, again, if you like gold vermeil, nothing wrong with that. But I just don't like it tarnishing or fading, and that is a risk of it happening with gold mills and stuff, because I have spent a lot of money in the past buying that. Now that's how it looks like. It has to be resized. It's too loose. I haven't worn it yet, but I intend to wear it like this to this finger. It's pretty, isn't it? All right. Now moving on. We're finishing. So let's do this one. So this is, I think, 9 carat as well. So with this middle stone here, the person that was selling it in the secondhand shop, I think he had a certificate for gemology, but he couldn't tell me what this is either. He said it could be any of these things, which he showed me a bunch of names that I could not remember because he was just like, I'm not sure. For all you know, it could be plastic, but whatever. It's pretty. So here it's diamonds, and here they're apparently either pink sapphires or pink spinels, something like that. And this one was the first, I think, the first vintage ring I got, the one that I saw on TikTok, and then I saw someone saying on TikTok when they're visiting the shop, and then I went there, it was still there, and I definitely got it because pink is my favorite color. And normally I would also put this on this finger in general, but I can wear it sometimes on my index finger as well, depending on my outfit. And that's how it looks like on the side. And I think this one was also maybe about $400 around there. Yeah. And just quickly around here. That's how it looks like as the index finger ring. Obviously, you can have this ring any size you like. So a lot of these rings I had it resized because my fingers were so small, and I went to collect it. So it's quite nice even on the ring finger, but I haven't resized it for my ring finger. I'm just a little bit warm right now, so it looks okay, but it often will fall off if I am wearing this on a cold day. Now moving on. So this ring is also a 9 carat ring. This one was around $600. I remember because these were rubies and that's why they were more expensive. And these rings remind me of my mom because it's ruby. It was her birth month. So there's diamonds, both sides. For some reason, this little guy here is a little bit darker, and I don't know why. People who knows jewelry and are very knowledgeable about this, which could you tell me why? But anyways, that's the back of it. And again, those are rubies. And sometimes I wear it this way, where it faces downwards. Sometimes I wear it upwards, but I don't know. I like it facing downwards a bit more. Sometimes facing upwards looks a bit more aged, like it looks older on me for some reason. So I like facing downwards more. And I normally wear it obviously with a bunch of other rings, but that is how it looks like put on. And like the last three, so I've got here, this is an also secondhand but a little bit older in age, and this was I think about 400 as well, also 9 carat. So this one is a peridot in the middle, and then the yellow one is citrine, I think it's called. I always say it wrong, but this one I think is just pretty. It feels pretty modern looking, so it looks like the more modern rings. It's hollow-ish at the back, and I had to clean it a little bit. It was a little bit dirty when I first got it, but I cleaned it and it looks better now. I think this ring is pretty casual, and I quite like it just the way it is and how it looks. Normally I will wear it like this, and just feels like a cool girl ring. Alright, so to left, I'll do this one. So this one is not it is a secondhand ring, but I didn't get it from a secondhand store. I got this from a jewelry shop in Adelaide. So I walked past this shop while I was there, and then when I got home back in Melbourne, I went through their website and saw this. So this is a 15 carat yellow gold ring, and these are garnets, and that middle one's an opal. I never have any opal jewelry. That's why I thought it was pretty cool if I have this. It looks like the typical design of sapphire rings where they have sapphire in the middle and diamonds sort of around it, but this one with a garnet. So I feel like garnet suits me, but it turns out ruby suits me a little bit more on my skin tone, but this is still rather pretty cool. And the opal itself. And I also got this resized after I got it, so I sent it back once I received it. That was too big. Got it resized, and they were super helpful. And then they send it back to me. And this is how it looks like. It's very vintagey, isn't it? Yeah, I like it. It's cool. Cooler if you look up close. Now, the video is getting extremely long now, but the last one here on this list is my most recent one, and this little guy here is 18 karat gold. So this one here, I think it was touching $1,000 because of the 18 karat gold, but this is a pink tourmaline and diamonds. So this one I specifically made for other fingers because, as you can see, I was wearing mostly on these two fingers, and if it fits these two fingers, it usually fits these two. So I made most of my rings so that I can fit more fingers, but this one I've made it smaller. So if I bring it up close just a little bit, there's the pink tourmaline and the diamonds at the side and the yellow gold. I've worn this a few times, but obviously, as you can see just before, these ones are more scuffed because I wear these the most. So these ones are made for my ring finger, so they're very tiny. So normally, I wear it like this. And it will fit my ring finger on this side as well, but that's normally where my wedding ring is. But this ring doesn't fit other fingers. So I can't put it in at all because it won't fit my knuckles. And that's the last ring that I have. Lots of different ones. The video have gone extremely long, maybe too long. And I hope you find this enjoyable. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. And hopefully you found this helpful. If you want any more specific particular videos about these rings, let me know and I can make them. But otherwise, this is like an overview of all the little different vintage rings that I've got recently and just other rings that I've got over the years. And now I'm just stacking them all up to show you the rings. This one doesn't fit, and this wedding ring only fits in this wedding finger. There you go. Oh, I have some more. Bloopers. Can't fit them all, can I? There you go. Alrighty. Goodbye. See you in the next video.